welcome back to Bookish Dives. I am so excited for today's deep dive.
Me too.
I mean, we've done some really cool books.
Yeah.
But this one,
This one's gonna be good.
this one is just, I think, so relevant to like every single person listening.
Oh, for sure.
And it's called Rich AF, The Winning Money Mindset That Will Change Your Life by Vivian Tu.
AKA your rich BFF.
Yes. And basically it's about understanding how rich people think
Yeah.
and how they act.
And most importantly,
How
they manage their money.
yes. Are you ready to unpack this?
Absolutely, I am.
Okay.
You know what's so interesting about this book is
Yeah.
it's not just another financial advice book. It's
Yeah.
like it really dives into the psychology of wealth.
Yes.
You know, like how do rich people approach money differently?
Totally.
And I think Vivian too, with her background
Oh, yeah.
as a former Wall Street trader, she just brings this really unique perspective.
Totally. Like right away, she throws you into the world of high finance with this crazy story about a Wall Street sales guy
Oh my gosh, yes.
who like pulls an all-nighter in Atlantic City.
What?
Okay, he's like dressed for the casino, walks into work hungover, and somehow lands this huge trade order.
Oh, yeah.
And you're just kind of like,
It
what?
just makes you think.
Yeah. What does this say about the
Yeah.
risk tolerance
Risk tolerance.
of people who are successful in finance?
Totally.
You know?
Uh-huh. Yeah, it definitely challenges that conventional wisdom that wealth comes from like always playing it safe.
Right?
You know, maybe as Tu suggests, there's something to be said for taking risks,
Yes.
but like calculated risks,
Yeah,
right?
calculating.
Stepping outside your comfort zone.
Totally.
But beyond risk.
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest takeaways from Rich AF is this emphasis on building assets. Like
Yeah.
things that put money in your pocket rather than liabilities that drain your resources.
Okay, so like she gives that example in the book,
Yes.
the Prada bag
The Prada bag.
versus investing in real estate.
It's so true. Like the Prada bag might make you feel good in the moment, but it's a liability.
Yeah.
But real estate, that's an asset that can appreciate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And especially when you leverage it.
Okay, speaking of leverage,
Yes.
that's another important concept the book explores.
Oh, yeah. Leverage is key.
So, like, how do the wealthy use debt
Yeah.
to amplify their returns?
Okay, so think about it this way.
Okay.
Imagine you buy a rental property with a mortgage.
Okay.
You're essentially using the bank's money,
Oh.
that's leverage, to acquire an asset that generates income and could potentially appreciate in value.
That makes so much sense.
Right.
Okay, but let's be real.
Yeah.
Managing money can be, like, a lot.
It could feel overwhelming.
Yeah. So, thankfully, the book goes into budgeting strategies
Oh, yeah.
that surprisingly don't make me want to run for the hills.
Right.
Like, I used to dread budgeting.
Oh, yeah.
But Vivian too really reframes it as this like positive, empowering plan to maximize your wealth.
It's about making your money work for you.
It's not about restriction.
Yes.
It's about planning.
Okay, so what kind of methods does she actually suggest?
Well, one of the budgeting methods she highlights is the 50-30-20 rule.
Okay, I've heard of that one.
It's pretty straightforward. 50% of your income goes to your needs, 30% to your wants, and then 20% goes to savings and investments.
Okay, so simple.
Yeah, it's like this simple framework that allows you to enjoy your money while still building wealth.
That is great, but what about people with irregular income,
Oh, yeah, good point.
like freelancers or entrepreneurs?
For sure.
Does the book have advice for them?
Absolutely. Rich AF covers like a range of budgeting techniques, including zero-based budgeting,
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
where you allocate every dollar of your income to a specific purpose.
Okay.
And there's this other one called reverse budgeting.
Reverse budgeting. Okay, I have never heard of that.
It kind of flips the traditional budgeting script.
Okay, how?
So you determine your savings goals first, and then you automate contributions to your savings or investment accounts.
Oh,
And then you budget the remaining money for your expenses.
so you're saving first.
You're saving first,
Okay.
which is great.
That's a really cool way to like prioritize saving.
Yeah, it ensures that you're consistently working towards those financial goals.
Brilliant. Okay, but I do have a question.
Yeah,
Most people have their little indulgences,
of course.
those non-negotiables.
Yeah,
Does the book address that at all?
it totally does.
Okay.
Like, Rich AF acknowledges that it's important to enjoy your money right.
Yes.
It's not about being deprived.
Right.
It's about making conscious choices.
Okay.
And the key is to actually budget for your non-negotiables.
So you're not completely blowing your budget.
Exactly. So they don't derail your overall financial plan.
I love that.
Right.
Okay, so it really is all about balance
Yeah.
and being intentional with your spending
Yeah.
and making sure it aligns with your goals, values.
Yeah. And another important thing that Rich AF focuses on is earning more.
Oh, yeah.
Vivian Tu stresses the importance of knowing your worth
Yes.
and negotiating for higher pay.
This is where I struggle.
Yeah, it can be tough.
Like, asking for a raise just feels so awkward.
I know. But the book provides, like, practical tips.
Okay.
And it even introduces this concept of a brag book.
A brag book.
Basically, like, a portfolio of your accomplishments
Okay.
and your contributions.
That you can use when you ask for a raise.
Exactly, to justify that raise request.
That is genius.
Okay.
I'm going to start working on mine right now.
Yeah, it's a game changer.
Okay, cool. And beyond your main job, the book encourages exploring side hustles as a way to increase your income streams.
Oh, for sure.
Okay. But I think a lot of people, especially like new side hustlers, they might get tempted by those multi-level marketing schemes, the MLMs.
Oh, yeah.
What's the book's take on those?
Rich AF is actually pretty cautious about MLMs. It highlights how they often rely more on recruiting than product sales.
Right.
Which can be really exploitative.
Yeah, you can get caught up in that hype, but it's so important to carefully evaluate any opportunity.
Absolutely. Vivian Tu really encourages readers to develop that critical eye.
Yeah.
And to not blindly follow trends or advice.
Yes.
Like make informed decisions based on your individual circumstances and goals.
I love that. Okay, speaking of informed decisions.
Okay.
Let's shift gears and talk about savings.
Okay.
I remember that story that Vivian Tu tells about chopping off her finger.
Oh, yeah.
And how it made her realize the importance of an emergency fund.
Yeah. That story really hits home.
Yes.
The need for that financial safety net.
Yeah.
Life throws those curveballs.
It does.
And having that emergency fund gives you peace of mind.
Yes.
Like knowing you can handle those unexpected expenses without going into debt.
Oh, I'm all about that peace of mind.
Right.
But beyond just tucking away cash, does the book talk about other ways to make your money work harder?
Absolutely. Rich AF actually breaks down investing.
Oh.
It gets into high-yield savings accounts,
Yep.
stocks, bonds, even real estate.
Oh.
In a way that's super clear and accessible.
And she shares her Wall Street experience, right?
Oh, yeah.
Which makes it even more credible.
For sure.
I especially liked her point about diversifying your investments, not putting all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, diversification is so key.
Okay. I think this is a great place to pause.
Okay.
We'll come back and unpack more of Vivian Tu's insights in the next part of our deep dive.
One thing that really stood out to me from the book was Vivian Tu's perspective on credit and debt.
Oh, yeah.
She doesn't demonize credit cards the way some financial gurus do.
Interesting.
Instead, she explains how they can be really useful
Okay.
if you use them responsibly.
Yeah, I used to think credit cards were like a one-way ticket to debt.
Right.
But the book really changed my view on that,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to building good credit.
Oh, yeah. Having good credit is so important.
Yeah, it's not just about getting a loan.
It affects so many things.
Yeah, like what else?
Well, lower interest rates on loans,
Oh, okay.
better rental opportunities, even your insurance premiums can be affected by your credit score.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And what's really interesting?
Yeah.
Vivian Tu actually encourages readers to negotiate with credit card companies.
Negotiate.
Yeah, to try and lower their interest rates or waive fees.
I never even thought of that.
It's true.
That's a good point.
We have more power as consumers than we think.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about credit cards.
Yeah.
What about debt in general?
Well, Rich AF makes a distinction between good debt and bad debt,
I remember that.
which I think is really helpful.
Yeah, it's like the mortgage versus a payday loan.
Exactly.
One helps you build wealth and the other's
Drains it.
yeah, totally.
So good debt is used strategically to build wealth,
Okay.
often by acquiring assets that appreciate in value or generate income.
A bad debt is that high interest stuff.
Yeah, that doesn't really help you in the long run.
Okay, that makes sense. So it's not about avoiding all debt,
Right.
but being smart about it.
Exactly. Okay, are you ready to talk about taxes?
Not really, but I know it's important.
I know it's not the most exciting topic,
Yeah.
but Rich AF really breaks it down in a way that's easy to understand.
Okay, good.
Like understanding your tax bracket, deductions, credits,
Yeah, all that stuff.
all that stuff, because it helps you legally minimize what you owe.
And keep more of your money.
Exactly.
I do like that the book says it's okay to ask for help with taxes.
Yeah,
Sometimes you need a professional.
absolutely. Sometimes it's worth it to invest in a CPA or a financial advisor.
Especially when things get complicated.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so let's talk about the ultimate goal,
Okay.
achieving financial freedom.
Oh, yes.
I love how the book talks about the FU number.
Yes. The FU number.
Such a funny name.
But it's so powerful.
It is.
It's basically the amount of money you need to cover all your expenses without having to work.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not necessarily about retiring early,
Right.
but having the freedom to choose.
Exactly.
So how do we figure out our FU number?
Well, the book provides a formula.
Okay.
It considers your annual spending, your desired rate of return, and inflation.
Okay.
It might seem a bit complicated at first,
Yeah.
but it's really helpful to actually visualize your goals.
Okay, yeah. And make a plan.
Yeah.
It's amazing how the book just breaks down all these complex things into like manageable steps.
Right.
And Vivian Tu's story is so inspiring.
Oh, for sure.
Like she went from Wall Street trader to financial educator.
It shows that anyone can do it.
Yeah, with the right mindset.
Yeah, and I think what's really cool is her focus on giving back.
Oh, yeah?
Like using your wealth to make a positive impact.
I love that.
It's not just about accumulating money. It's
Wow.
about making a difference.
That's a beautiful message.
Yeah. It's about recognizing that financial well-being isn't a zero-sum game.
Yeah, there's enough for everyone.
Right. Rich AF encourages the shift from scarcity to abundance.
Yes.
Believing in yourself and working towards a future where everyone can thrive.
I love that idea. And I think it ties back to that emphasis on financial literacy.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like when you understand the rules of the game.
You can play it better.
Exactly.
Financial knowledge is power.
Yes. And this book really gives you the tools to take control.
Absolutely.
You know, this is so much more than just a personal finance book.
I agree.
It's like a call to action.
Yeah.
A blueprint for a better future.
For everyone.
Okay, before we get ahead of ourselves,
Okay.
let's take a moment to reflect on everything we've talked about.
Good idea.
We'll be back in a bit to wrap up our deep dive into Rich AF and share some final thoughts on how to put all this into action. All right, we are back.
Back for more Rich AF.
Yes. You know, this book has really, shifted my perspective on building wealth.
Oh, yeah. In what way?
Well, it's not about luck or privilege or anything like that.
Okay.
It's about making choices
Yeah.
and developing those good habits.
Conscious choices.
Yes.
That's what I think is so empowering about Rich AF.
Yes.
It breaks down that myth that wealth is only for a certain group of people.
Totally. Yeah.
Vivian Tu really shows us that anyone can achieve financial success.
Regardless of where they start,
Yeah.
by adopting that mindset.
Yeah, and the strategies.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's not just about reaching some net worth number.
Right.
It's about the freedom
Yeah,
and
yeah.
security.
That comes with it.
Yeah, like being able to make choices that align with your values.
Yes. Pursue your passions, take care of yourself.
Without constantly stressing about money.
Yeah. That's what it's all about, having those options.
Feeling in control.
Yeah. And what's great is that Rich AF gives you a roadmap to get there.
Yes.
It's like a step-by-step guide to building wealth.
Through budgeting and investing and all of that.
Exactly.
I'm leaving this deep dive so inspired to take charge of my own finances.
Me too.
Yep.
It's like Vivian Tu has given us the keys.
Yes.
To unlock our financial potential.
So as we wrap up, what resonated most with you from Rich AF?
Oh, that's a good question.
What's one thing you can start doing today to think and act like a Rich AF individual?
Yeah, I think that's a great question for our listeners to think about.
Yes. And speaking of thinking, if you enjoyed this deep dive and want more insightful summaries of books that can help you level up in all areas of life,
Make sure to follow us.
yes, we release new episodes every day covering all sorts of topics.
From personal finance to business, self-improvement, psychology even.
So hit that follow button and join us on this journey of knowledge and growth.
We'll see you in the next episode.
Happy reading.